Thank you for downloading this in-ear entertainment podcast. You're listening to Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnet 60. Like as the waves make towards the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end, each changing place with that which goes before, in sequent toil or forwards do contend. Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned, crooked eclipses gainst his glory fight. And time, that gave doth now his gift confound. Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth, and delves the parallels in beauty's brow, feeds on the rarities of nature's truth, and nothing stands but for his scythe to mow. And yet, to times in hope my verse shall stand, praising thy worth, despite his cruel hand. That was Sonnet 60, and that's a hard one to read. Of Shakespeare's sonnets, I should say, they're not just 60 sonnet I've randomly found on the internet. They're Shakespeare's ones. I'm Mark Chesley, and I am joined, as always, by the wonderful
Thierry Hillis,
who is today having a few little computer problems. It's taken us a while to record this second sonnet in today's blog.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm having fun.
I blame Bill. I blame Bill.
We blame both Bill Gates and Bill Shaky, which is our pet name, my pet name for William Shakespeare, Bill Shaky.
He would if you were a hip hop artist. I say artist. If you were a rapper today, he would probably be called Bill Shaky.
Bill Shaky. Oh, Bill Shaky on the mic. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Having a battle with Eminem.
Bill Shaky versus Eminem. Oh, they haven't done an epic rap battle with Shakespeare in it yet, have they?
I don't know. I see them occasionally when someone links to them, but I don't. I don't follow it.
I was showing Thierry what annoys me about Skype before this call, which is all the smileys that never stop moving, and now they're not stopping moving and annoying me, so I'm just going to get rid of them. There we go. Excellent. So Sonnet 60 from Bill Shaky. What do we think about this one? Do you like this one? You didn't really like the last one, so do you like this one?
This one just... I don't like... I can't really say pretentious. It's sort of that overly trying to create a metaphor. Just...
But you think
it's too much?
You think it's Shakespeare trying too hard?
Yeah. Well, you probably can't say that about Shakespeare. It's probably Shakespeare making the most exquisite poetry. But just, yeah, I'm not a fan of this.
Okay, what part in particular do you not like?
It just... I don't need... There's just a general sort of... There's just nothing...
General hate. Just a general... You hate everything about it.
I just...
For me, it's definitely the language in this one. While it's more structured like a modern English poem, it's not quite there, but it's more what we're used to. The use of the words don't flow, so you get to this bit in the middle where it's Nativity, once the main of light crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned, crooked eclipses gainst his glory fight. And time that give doth now his gift confound. Time does transfix the flourish set of... And it's so... It requires so many changes of the shape of your mouth that it just doesn't have flow to it. It has a kind of poetic... I suppose it does have a kind of poetic feel to it. But in terms of being able to say it, it's not very good.
But that's it, though. There's a poetic feel to it, but it doesn't... I'm just going to use the word pretentious because that's what it feels like to me. It's sort of that, I use big words to get a message across rather than just going, this is my message.
I think I agree with you. It's like a computer has tried to write a poem. And like you fed in lots of poetic language into a computer and he just spits it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of get that feeling. And delves the parallels in beauty's brow, feeds on the rarities of nature's truth.
It's just an overuse of a thesaurus. Just Shakespeare sitting there going, I have this word. What's a more complicated old Greek or Sanskrit word for this one.
I used to do that on my short stories. I used to write my short stories and then
I
go
hate
through
that.
right-clicking and going, thesaurus, that's a better word. Right-click, thesaurus, that's a better word. And you end up with just bizarre sentences.
That's what this feels like, though. You read this, and I just go, there's so many... I get that they were using different words, and obviously we've had sonnets before that
Yeah.
had words that we wouldn't use anymore today, but this just too much.
I think I agree with you. Yeah, it just feels like too much. That's probably a nice way of saying it. It does have some nice callbacks in it. It calls back to the very early sonnets when we were talking about time as a person or time as a thing, and that comes in again. And it talks about time's scythe, and nothing stands but for his scythe to mow. That's to me is more like a Shakespearean line. And nothing stands but for his scythe to mow. It's very simple, yet the idea behind it is very complex.
It's very complex.
Whereas what we see for the rest of it is a very complex way of saying a simple thing.
Well, we have that you say time as well. This is Sonnet 60, which sort of goes back to Sonnet 12 as well, which was talking about the 12 hours of the day. Here we have the hour again, hour minutes hasten to their end, which is apparently not a coincidence that he used 60 as a timepiece and 12 as a timepiece.
That makes sense. That does make sense. That works quite well. I like that. That's quite clever. See, he was a clever man. He didn't need to put on all these.
I'm not saying that he wasn't clever. I'm just he has done better sonnets than this one.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I agree. And it's very interesting actually when you look back over the sonnets is that Shakespeare has some absolutely in the collection of 154 we're going to get at the end. There's maybe in my head 5 or 6 absolutely standout sonnets that are so above the quality of the others. And then there's kind of a middling ground, and then there's a little ground. So he's got a nice bell curve going on, I think, of quality in his sonnets.
Is it a bell curve?
I'd say so. There are more in the middle, sort of an average goodness, and then it gets rarer as to the really rubbish ones and the really, really good ones.
Yeah, we're sort of approaching the middle now, though.
Yes, yeah. I don't think it doesn't map to the number of them. I think it just the quality of them. I think is. I don't know. There's quite.
I do like quite a few of the Dark Mistress sonnets, though.
I only know a couple of them. I only know the famous one, 130, which is stunning, and I can't wait to get to that one. We're not even halfway towards that one yet.
No.
But that one's going to be good fun. I don't know many of the others. Yeah, coughing and interrupting me.
I apologise.
Thank you. You should. So what do you think this sonnet's about? We haven't said what we think it's about.
Mortality.
Yes.
That's just. I mean, the minutes that hasten to their end times. Where is the line with the scythe?
It's about third from the bottom.
Yeah, nothing stands before his scythe. Just. Yeah, pretty much time catching up with you, or time running out, running away.
But how do you think that links into the fair youth then in this one? Is he talking about the fair youth? Or to me this feels more like he's talking about himself than the fair youth.
I thought this was more of a sort of removed from the other sonnets, because 61 goes back to the jealousy theme.
Okay.
So I was thinking more like 12 and 60, just sort of general contemplation about the time that we have, and
so this is a bucket episode, so to speak.
Bottle episode, yeah.
Bottle episode, that's the one. Sorry, bucket, bottle, they're much the same. Yeah, no, that makes it, because it does seem to revisit some earlier strands rather than continue the strand we've been seeing. Yeah,
it's just sort of a sit back and think more about we only have so many years sort of thing.
It's quite depressing now. It's quite...
Well, I don't want to die, but eternity is a very long time.
Yeah, it does feel as a species we should have maybe another 100 or so years to our lifespan.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind living a couple of centuries, but I get bored on a Sunday now. What am I going to do with 500 years?
Oh, bless you, you get bored on a Sunday. You have to come round to my house. You just make the trip down on the train, the one train that runs like once on a Sunday, and I can entertain you on a Sunday. That's fine.
That doesn't necessarily sound good for me.
It would be fine. You would be entertained in a way.
It would be memorable.
It would. That's such a veiled threat, isn't it?
I can tell my psychiatrist all about it.
See, it gives you something to talk about with others. It sounds like a win-win-win situation. But yes, this sonnet, I don't think this would have felt out of place if we had got this around about sort of sonnet 16, sonnet 17. It feels like it should belong down at that end when he was talking about time's running out, you need to get on and shag, or you need to get on and be with me, because that's where it kind of changed to. It's kind of got that feel to it.
Well, around that sort of time, we weren't quite sure yet whether he wanted to sleep with a fair youth or whether there was a gay thing going on.
I started out this podcast, and I think you can find some very early podcasts of me going, I don't think it was I don't think it was a gay thing, and I think that's people just projecting backwards. And now, 60 sonnets into it, I'm fairly convinced there was a relationship.
At least some sort of relationship. Well, the very intimate sort of relationship.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily always have to be sexual. You can have a man crush.
Yeah,
although as man crushes go, this is a fairly epic one to write 100 sonnets about someone.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a man crush on Nathan Fillion. I haven't written him one sonnet yet.
Everyone has a crush on Nathan Fillion. I don't think you will find anyone in Western society that does not have a crush on Nathan Fillion.
And have you written him a sonnet?
Not yet.
No, see? And to write 100 is quite a strong...
The scary thing is, if you wrote Nathan Fillion a sonnet, he's such a massive Shakespeare fan as well, he would probably just love it and just post it and just...
Let's do it! Me and you, we shall write Nathan Fillion a sonnet, and we shall send it to him with a link back to this podcast.
Just in a perfumed envelope, just really, really creepy.
Because he's not in Much Ado, is he? Joss Whedon's Much Ado.
I'm not sure.
He wasn't in any of the trailers.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm not sure I've seen Fran Kranz in any of the trailers, but he's in the movie.
Who's Fran Kranz?
He's the Topher from Dollhouse.
Oh no, he's in the trailer.
Is he in the trailer?
Yeah, he is. As a drunk. He does this
Fillion.
weird drunk toast thing. I'm so looking forward to that.
I mainly love that Wes and thing he had together. What's her face? Fred.
Oh, poor
Fred and Wesley.
That was shocking when that happened. When that happened in Angel, that was shocking.
Oh, God, just the moment where she's lying in bed and he's reading A Little Princess to her. Just that scene.
Yeah.
Oh.
And all you're thinking is, they're going to save her. They're going to save her. Why am I getting upset? They're going to save her. And then they don't. And you're just like,
and just the fact that this is a spoiler. If you haven't watched Angel, just skip the next 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Then she doesn't just die. They destroy her soul.
Yeah.
So she doesn't even go to a heaven. She just doesn't exist ever anymore. And it's fuck you, Whedon.
Yeah. Damn him. So
yeah,
good.
he does star in it.
He does. Awesome.
Nathan Fillion as... Where is he?
Need to see that. And you're seeing
He's Dogberry.
You're seeing it on a weekend I can't come, but we're going to do a special podcast for Joss Whedon's
we will. I doubt I will have any issue with seeing that movie even several times.
No, that's fine. I think I'll come to you, and we can maybe even record a live show. As in not live to the people listening, but as in live as we're both
in the same room.
Yeah, we're both in the same room. Maybe just hanging out in our boxes. You know, that kind of feeling vibe going on.
I have like a small bottle of absinthe that we can.
Excellent. We got some absinthe. It's gonna be a.
It's just like a very small bottle, but it'll be fine.
That's all you need. I've never tried it. We should.
The Yellow Devil, 80%.
Wow. Okay, we need to.
I quite like absinthe.
Never tried it. Do you do the whole pouring over sugar thing?
I've never done it like that.
That's how it's traditionally served in France, I believe. You pour it over a sugar cube, and it dissolves the sugar cube into the whatever you're drinking out of then. But there's probably many ways to drink it. We will have to see. We gone completely off track, but it was Shakespeare related in a way, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, Shakespeare. Yeah.
So we're doing this. We're doing the podcast at the moment. This isn't us just chatting in between the podcasts.
Well, we have had some people on Twitter asking for a Mark and Thierry show, just randomly talking.
Randomly talking about
it wouldn't be much different from what we are doing now, to be honest.
No,
Shakespeare's just an excuse.
It is. It's an excuse for me to keep in contact with a friend. It's good. And read the sonnets, because it's something I've always wanted to do. The only part of this sonnet that confuses me, to go back to the sonnet, is the Nativity line 5. Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity. So, is there a second meaning of nativity? Because when I think nativity, I think the nativity
Jesus.
being Jesus in the barn with animals. Although I'm fairly sure a donkey isn't mentioned in the Bible. A donkey's not mentioned. The animals that you see on the traditional nativity aren't actually the ones that are mentioned in the Bible. But I can't.
Well, there's the lobster.
There's a lobster?
Of course, there's a first lobster. Have you not seen Love Actually?
No.
That might be a reference that's lost on you. Because it's set around Christmas, the run up to Christmas. One of the children plays the first lobster in the nativity play, and the mom just goes, "There was a lobster at the nativity." Yes, of course, there was more than one.
Why not?
Why not? Why wouldn't there be a lobster?
Nativity. I'm just having a look at it.
I don't
literally means birth. It can be any birth. Birth with reference to place or attendant circumstances. So the nativity is Christ, but
nativity in general is just a birth.
Yeah. Or you could say you are like you would be of Luxembourgish nativity. So you are born of Luxembourg. So it probably it's
Sounds
whether
too noble for a country like that.
Yes, but whether in this sense is it? I think it's talking about just birth. Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity. I think.
It's the baby being born, and it's like the early days of life, I guess.
Yeah, and then you crawl to maturity, or wherewith being crowned. Crooked eclipses gainst his glory fight, and time doth give.
I actually quite like that. Crawl to maturity is a bit an endless childhood.
Yeah,
and then once you're old, you're just old. There's nothing.
There's no adult phase.
Time just sort of. Well, I've started to notice that now.
Yeah,
years just go by very, very quickly, and I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, years still seemed fairly endless.
Yeah.
And now I just think back and just go, 2012, so much stuff happened, and it just still feels like it's a week.
And
just all compressed.
I'm still waiting for the time when I feel adult. I can't figure out when. I always just presumed there would be a point where I suddenly started feeling, or maybe it would be gradually, I would feel adult. But I don't feel adult. And I've spoken
I'm not sure anyone ever actually feels adult. You just learn to fake it.
Yeah, which is my theory. Is my theory that adultness and being grown up is a construct that everyone pretends to be because they feel they have to be. If that makes sense, it's a socially perpetuated construct. Which so everyone looks down on me for being childish, and I've been called a kidult before because I act like a kid. When I don't think there is such a thing as being an adult. It's just conforming to this idea of what you should be.
But I'm not even sure what is the idea of being an adult.
Being
family, job, kids.
Yeah, being boring and not showing enjoyment is how I see being an adult. And I really don't want to do that.
I don't think nerds can do that.
No. I mean, I watched Doctor Who last week on the edge of my seat, bouncing up and down when something cool happened. That's the only way to watch Doctor Who. You can't watch Doctor Who lounging back on a sofa. That's not how it's meant to be watched. You're meant to sit there and bounce and clap and yeah.
That sort of just in the cinema as well when people clap. That always
Clapping in the cinema's weird though.
yeah. I don't unless there is actually someone present
From
who's make the film or just no, don't clap.
Yeah, that's weird. But then I don't really like the cinema in general, so
I love the cinema. I've seen 29 films in the last 8 weeks.
that's disgusting. That's actually disgusting.
I have an unlimited card, so I've paid 15 quid a month, and I've seen like 20. Yeah, I've seen about 15 movies a month.
Yeah, and you live in the city though, so that helps.
Yeah, I live 15 minutes away from the cinema. Yeah. It gets cold in the evening. So I could turn the heating on, or go to the cinema, and I just go to the cinema.
Yeah, they have heating.
Not always. It's Cineworld Cardiff. Sometimes they the air conditioning is on and it's freezing outside, and you walk into the screen and it's even colder in there. I just go, oh.
It's when you take your duvet with you.
Pretty much.
And just sit there, cuddled up under your duvet. I'm not leaving.
I have one of my friends did go to Cineworld in her pajamas.
Wow,
and just all cuddled up in there. Just
that's slightly weird.
I have some weird friends.
I think you should read the sonnet. And you should do it without making any mistakes. That's what I feel your challenge is.
I can do this.
You can. I believe you can.
I believe in myself.
And it's eclipse and nativity. Those are the two words that messed me up.
I'm scared more about the wherewith.
Wherewith is a weird word, yeah.
And there's no thence in this, is there?
Not that I remember, no. You didn't like thence.
It's just more the fact that I was expecting it and it was a line too early.
Your brain went, say it now! I know what it is, say it now!
I have prepared for this, Kate.
Right, after you.
Sonnet 60. Like as the waves make towards the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten. Hasten.
That's okay, I'll forgive you that.
I'm just going to start over. That's not going to go well.
No, I'll forgive you that, because that was you being unsure of an English word. That's fine.
Like as the waves make towards the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end. Each changing place with that which goes before, in sequent toil all forwards do contend. Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned, crooked eclipses gainst his glory fight, and time that doth give now his gift confound. Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth, and delves the parallels in beauty's brow, feeds on the rarities of nature's truth, and nothing stands but for his scythe to mow. And yet to times in hope my verse shall stand, praising thy worth, despite his cruel hand. Yes!
That was amazing! That was so good! I'm very, very, very proud of you. Well done.
Slightly screwed up the first go, but yeah.
That's fine. That was Sonnet 60 of Shakespeare's sonnets, read expertly by Thierry there. I've been Mark Chesley, and you can follow me on Twitter at Nufkin.
I've been Thierry Hillis, and you can follow me on Twitter at Sound of Seagulls.
And we're doing the whole Flatter thing now. If you don't know what Flatter is, get with the times. Yeah, it's good.
2013, you should catch up.
To flatter.com without the E. You'll find out all about it, and we are flatterable. And we shall see you next time for Sonnet 61.
Goodbye.
Bye. You've been listening to Shakespeare Sonnets with Mark Chatterley and Thierry Hillis. This has been an In-Ear Entertainment podcast. To listen to other podcasts or find out more about In-Ear Entertainment, go to www.inearentertainment.com.